maybe they think the Tide Hunter match is fine. I haven't really seen that lane played. I'm just theory crafting here about if Tide wins that lane. But they're at least limiting the options here of NEWBEE to hard counter Alchemist in the laning stage. Maybe Bloodseeker's also good against the last hero Liquid are thinking about. But we obviously don't know just yet. I think Ogre is 5, Zeus is 4, so they will last pick Miracle's hero. There's nothing here that says Miracle to you, is there? I don't think so.
No. No, not unless he's... Well, if he was running the mid lane, then it would make more sense. He could be
playing the Alchemist. I mean, he could be playing the Alch in either of the lanes, and they get Weehaw last pick hero. We'll see.
Yeah, like we and Miracle, they're both no foreigners to the Alchemist. But it's where you want him in the laning phase, like what goes well. Like if the Tide comes towards the off lane, it doesn't really feel like Team Liquid have the ability to zone him out. Like if you are running this is a support Zeus and support Ogre, like they're not going to do much to him. And now NEWBEE do wrap up with a 5th pick up with the Ancient Apparition.
So looks like that for Mirana. Tide 3, Sven 1, Ember 2, pretty standard for these heroes, and they obviously pick the AA as a solution to that Alchemist, removing the regeneration from the...
It's a Miracle Alchemist, it's a Wee Viper.
Yeah, it is Miracle playing on the Alchemist. He could end up having a hard time in the laning stage, honestly. It depends if NEWBEE can put their lanes correctly. I think my gut tells me that Sven can solo against Beastmaster from level 1. It might be a bit tough. Maybe he needs help for like 1 or 2 minutes from the AA.
Well, do you change it up then for Team Liquid? Do you push Mind Control into the safe lane for you and actually run like the off lane Alchemist? Because that's what it used to be like with the support Zeus. You go up, you burn everything you've got, and that's meant to help just at least win you the lane.
I mean, no matter
you come back.
No matter what they do, they want to give Miracle the best game they can, right? And the Viper is more than likely going mid. They could put Alch mid and side lane a Viper. That has been done before.
It would be interesting to see the flexibility from Team Liquid, because every time we've watched Wii play, it's like, hey, Wind Ranger, or it's Wii in the mid. Like, it's not that dynamic. Hey, we can always just change up our lanes and go wherever we need to go.
Yeah.
So that would at least be interesting to see from Team Liquid, to see what type of Team Liquid we have here at TI9.
It's true. I feel like we'll mainly be seeing Weehaw mid. I think if they make lane adjustments, it's not because it's their priority. It's because they get forced to, or because the benefits just clearly outweigh it. But I don't think it's what they're aiming to do with their drafting. But we'll see if they try to make these two players very interchangeable in the strategies. When they put their lanes with Alchemist now, like you said, he probably wants to dodge a potential aggro lane from the enemy team. So if NEWBEE have any interest in contesting him heavily, which I think they should, you don't just let Alchemist free farm, it becomes this kind of rock, paper, scissors game where you're trying to outsmart your opponents with where you put your lanes. Both teams are likely to move out aggressively and place wards so that they quickly get information about potential lane swapping. And we'll see, there's the smoke coming out from NEWBEE, and Liquid are not smoking for now. They do, of course, have the big benefit of Beastmaster's Hawk, which is kind of an underrated aspect of this hero level 1, is the ability to cover one stairway and see possible lane rotations. And you're probably going to see this Hawk try to maybe land somewhere in this area over here at the shrine to gather information.
You mean up here, do you?
Not that far. Wait, what? Oh yeah.
Over here when I'm the one doing the observing and not seeing your screen.
Oh, you saw you see me drawing on the map, right? I drew the circle.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, up here. Okay, yeah, right.
Bullseye. It was right there.
Yeah. I just gotta observe correctly, huh?
Yeah.
So the smoke from NEWBEE won't be able to see the Alchemist, so Miracle's not revealing his lane out. I'm loving the build coming in from GH. 5 mangoes is not enough. He's one shot of a full daiquiri. But he's starting off with his lightning bolt, so it's just straight up single target harassment at the beginning, and Mind Control will run the offlane. Kuro is staying with him for the moment, but it looks like NEWBEE feel like the best thing to do is run snaking up at the top lane, so it will be tied up on the safe lane, CC and C in towards the mid, and that gives your off lane to your.
Oh yeah, this actually makes
MSS.
This makes way more sense. I don't know why we didn't talk about this. Tide Hunter against Beastmaster is a good matchup. So. Bit stuck in this way of thinking that oh, you could leave the Sven alone and go to Tide's lane, but this is better. Just I would say flat out better. If they get this Tide against Beast matchup, that's a matchup Tide loves, because once you get Kraken Shell level 2, you basically ignore the boars, at least for the most part, and it allows them to play this very strong aggro tri lane with Sven AA Mirana. This lane is filthy, and Alchemist could struggle.
I was kind of like joking about it before, like, because I just hear the conversations happening at the welcome party. I was like, you know what, an Alchemist, he'll be fine. He'll be totally fine, just as long as, like, there's no way he can lose his lane. But they're definitely going to put that to the test. Snaking is being pushed back underneath this tower. He's got a lot of regen to work with. This Miracle, he will really be running this hard drag. Whatever creep you got back underneath the tower and just farming potential safety.
It's very interesting to see Liquid take this approach. Maybe they're thinking, if we aggro trial, we're not winning our lane anyway, so we could aggro onto the tide. Oh, he might be in
Snaking's
trouble
actually
here.
in a lot of trouble. He can't move himself back. Kuro's got the body block off, and all that early harassment damage from GH did us work.
So the logic here, we can't win our safe lane with the Alchemist, so we might as well leave him alone, pressure another place on the map, and what our benefit is maybe we can stack some camps. Actually, never mind. They went for the first blood, and now they're coming bottom.
Yep.
We're giving Miracle a little bit of a head start on experience by not taking that as 3 heroes. They get him the acid spray that might allow them to play this tri-lane. Zeus, by the way, starting with 5 mangoes.
Yep. 5 mangoes, going in for the boots, having a casual stick. If he is going to be part of this tri-lane versus tri-lane, then it makes a lot of sense. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, it's been Weeha versus CCNC. And so far, CCNC has been pretty heavy on the CS in front of him.
Yep. I don't actually know how this
lane... Pilot Eye. Man, there's that chaining stuns up as a quick pause. CCNC, hotkeys, not so great. But Pilot Eye, also not so great. Caught inside the acid spray, but all the stuns and bolts have already been used.
He has another bolt in 3. I think if Kuro gets in 1 more hit and Alk gets in 1 more hit, Alchemist is stunned. I think Pilot Eye might survive this. It's gonna be... Yeah, he's okay. Yeah, 1 more hit and a bolt would have done it, but...
UI even made sure they had a little bit more space. So they'll burn the south and back up. Keep your eyes on the runes.
And even though there is this head start for Mind Control top from the first blood, going the way of Liquid, Mind Control did not get that kill. So he only got a bit of the AoE gold. I think Snaking should be taking control of top. So it's important for Liquid that if they are helping Miracle with these 2 heroes, it needs to be worth it. And currently he's sitting on 4 CS min at 2.5, and that's not great.
Yeah.
And as you said, Weeha is not winning mid lane either against CCNC. So far, I would say a pretty good start for NEWBEE overall to this game.
Right, CCNC's not letting up on the aggression. He's staying up in the face of Weeha. That's why Wee's already forced to salve up. He had his opportunity because Sleight of Fist was used.
Yep. Another benefit of the Mirana, we're seeing that right there. Didn't talk about that, but of course can one-shot those neutral creeps. So arrowed the big Wild Wing, and when you're playing these tri-lanes, that could be a very nice boost to your farm. Experience and gold for them. Obviously, if Liquid are nearby to the camp, they also get experience, so you want to try to potentially zone them away or try to farm these big creeps while Liquid supports are doing something else.
Now, I always feel like Liquid are trying to get aggressive on this bottom lane, but they're not finding the opportunity to do so. Paradise moved to a very defensive position, always behind Yoa.
Sven is not a good target. That's one of Alchemist's biggest weaknesses. Right? His laning is terrible for these kind of tri-lanes. He doesn't offer much in the way of offense unless you skill Unstable Concoction, but then your Acid Spray is weak or your Grievel's Greed is too low level when you want to go farm jungle. So maybe Miracle will get 1 value point. We'll see.
Yeah,
but you
he's
definitely
gone
don't level it beyond that.
2-0-1 for the moment.
Yep. I think NEWBEE are very happy right now.
Yeah.
Their lanes are going great. They're winning 3 lanes, actually. I guess, actually not true. Beastmaster is still ahead in terms of net worth up top. But Snaking should be able to slowly overtake him. Look at those boars tickling him. 5 damage per hit. Yeah, when he gets level 5, it's 0.
I'm actually just wondering, too, then, like, if this rotation that Kuro made to the bottom lane, yeah, they're really going after Miracle. Have they got enough damage? He's still got the Acid Spray. He can pop off the Cold Feet's able to trigger Miracle. He's back underneath the tier 1 tower. Couldn't even get the Acid Spray off. If he did, Yuwa may have died a little sooner, but it's still GH and Kuro doing the work. Paradai will make a break up through the trees. And Kuro's trying to stay on him. Has to walk off the Cold Feet. Deciding to actually walk towards the north, which means the arrow from MSS able to connect. Sven's on the way. They leap in forward, try and body blocking Kuro. GH moving in forward too. Kuro is so low. He's got stick charges available, but GH, the Stormbolt, it flies forward. At least he got enough range to get out of the Cold Feet. The GH solo, another leap forward. MSS staying on the aggressive.
Surprised MSS saved these leaps. He could have gone for the Ogre kill perhaps, but maybe felt like he wouldn't have the damage to take him down with the Stout Shield and instead saves the leap to get this other kill. And now he has another charge in the back, in the bag, in the backpack. to go with. Oh, just gonna go bottle first item here on this for Mirana. So probably looking for some runes, minute 6, minute 8 in this bottom area.
Probably look to also get aggressive in mid. Now that you've got the TPs back, bottle forward from the Ember Spirit, he'll want to get in there. But GH is reading the situation. Puts down the defensive observer ward. They can see the arrows coming from the other side of the trees now.
And when you look at this, so Alchemist, this is the build you're going to see on Alch almost every game. 2 bracers. They're trying to put on some aggression here, but he's just too tanky now with these 2 bracers. The magic resist and the health should keep him alive against Jawar unless there's a great arrow coming in.
It's flying in. A little bit off target. The cold feet won't trigger either. Miracle's into the trees.
Okay,
but Jawar's going to stay with him, and Miracle blocked in, has to cut his way free. MSS leaps forward, looking for him, can't juke it out the tree line. Support was coming in from GH, but it came way too late.
Yeah, I was like, he's fine. Surely if they start diving the tower, there's going to be some help coming in from Liquid, but either just cooldowns or bad communication, and they end up not getting that. Might get a kill on MSS. No, he will get away.
He's got so many stick charges, and Kura's got no follow-up.
Wow. They just let them dive Miracle for literally 15 seconds.
Yep.
He got no help. I'm a bit surprised by it. But maybe TPs were on cooldown.
Yeah, maybe they were as confident as you were too. So it's like, you know what, you're fine, Miracle. Like, you're totally fine. He almost juked him out through the tree lines too. So MSS and Paladai will end up burning the shrine straight back out to being aggressive again.
Miracle's had enough, by the way. He's in the jungle now. It's like, whatever.
he's got his 2-0-2.
Yep.
So that's fine, right? GH is still able to farm at range on this bottom lane.
You've got to still be a little bit concerned though about this hero combination of Viper and Alchemist, because what ends up happening is that they both want to jungle. Viper wants to jungle with the Nether Toxin, and Alchemist wants to jungle with the Acid Spray. So one of them is going to not get the full farm that you would like.
You actually see it from Weeha, right? Like, he's got 4 points up in the poison attack, 1 point in Nether Toxin.
Yeah, it's a pretty unusual build. Hasn't really served him that well either, I would say. Hasn't been able to shut down CCNC with this aggressive build. And generally on Viper, if you go for this aggressive build, it's to lane dominate. But CCNC has been fine. So
they're coming for Miracle. No observer wards being placed, and Miracle was already aware of this. They walked underneath an observer ward, just planted north of the bottom rune. And now Kuro's trying to do something about Paladai. He's in deep. Viper's moving over too. If Weeha can just get in range for the Viper strike, they could potentially find this kill. The arrow's not helping out, and there was a wild wind to catch it out, and there's Paladai stunned up, locked inside the Nether Toxin. And he realizes that Wee's Nether Toxin will just let him tick. He's already moving back to the mid lane, trying to save time.
Yep. There's gonna be kills in this area. Both teams have way too much to do here to not go and either scout or fight. Every Alchemist game kind of goes like this. Whether he's played mid or safe lane, he will want to retreat into the jungle, and you want to limit him as much as possible. So Paladai went down here to scout and try to ward, and Miracle has retreated to the top half of the jungle, where you would imagine NEWBEE are trying to invade soon.
Mind control, the Ravage. It's just going to clip him on the edge, barely on the edge, but the arrow will be able to connect, and then just hold him in position. Cannot get a roar off, and mind control. He's going to feel pretty sad about that. Put up the Hawk just a little too late to see MSS waiting in the trees.
I actually thought that Ravage was going to miss. That was very close.
Yeah.
From snaking, knowing the limits of the Ravage there for sure.
Sorry, if we've got some downtime, we can watch that in slow motion on our replay in just a bit. But Weeha's adding a bit of pressure towards the mid lane. Kuro looking to try and help out to get the kill onto CCNC. Now, there is no Flame Guard available, so CCNC feeling a little pressured. It's back up the hill. Sleight of Fist tried to dodge that attack, buying a little bit more time with a phase boost, movement away. But no, it's going to be way too much with Weeha having that double damage rune. And Mind Control's arrived. Vladimir's is up, and they're going to add the pressure to the tier 1 tower.
Look at the build on Viper, too.
Double braces. We're going into Veil. Okay,
tanking up.
We've got ourselves a moment. If okay, so here's that Ravage just on the edge, but he actually went a little bit further than that. I saw a tentacle in front.
Maybe I don't know why. I felt like he started further away than he actually did. No,
he did it in the lane, and he had to do it over a row of trees. So
yeah,
the hedgerow just confuses. And we're back and good to go. So there's pressure in towards mid. MSS's arrows coming off cooldown now, but they will not be able to defend this.
This is a huge move. Getting mid tower minute 9. When you have Alchemist, well, in Dota in general, taking towers is good. When you have Alchemist, it's very, very important that you protect your own towers. But if you can, on top of that, which usually is very hard to do, take enemy towers early, you effectively, when you start pushing waves, you buy Alchemist space.
Yeah.
Because the enemy team has to defend further back, and this extra 10 seconds that it takes the wave to cross the river is just more space, more time for Alchemist to analyze the map, to farm as efficiently as possible, and this move from Liquid is easily the biggest play of the game so far and could really set them up for a nice mid-game.
It actually feels like the kill up on top lane didn't help them out. Now the snaking burnt Ravage is like, well, you got the confidence just to keep pushing down these tier 1 towers. Where's the pressure to come from Yuar then? Like, he's still working on his hand of Midas on bottom lane. The tier 1 tower on bottom lane is taking almost no damage. And Mind Control's ready with his Roar. They'll cut through the trees. The creep wave is following, snaking in there. But a lot of this is already scouted out. NEWBEE have this line of wards that runs the northern side of the map, so they understood just how much Liquid was bringing to bring down that tier 1 tower.
Yep, they're gonna let it go again. So, what's the trade-off though? Sven's doing some damage bottom, but
CC&C I think is looking for something in the mid with the Invis-Rune.
He can't solo kill Alchemist with 2 bracers, I don't think. He has ulti, there's no way dice.
Yeah. And so what do? You let a tier 1 tower fall, you go down towards bottom lane. Weeha gonna TP in here, second is on the way. TP already on the way from Yuar. Just get away before Ogre is able to complete his TP in. But he finished up the Midas, added pressure, but the tier 1 tower still remains alive. They even bring it within deny range if they want to get rid of that money.
I think I might just leave it standing for now for information. Arrow. He wanted to get a creep, but Kuro's fat body is in the way.
You gotta save the resources on the map. This is what we were wondering about, right? Like, how the Alchemist functions. Like, you got that push, you got your timing right. He is now #1 on the net worth. 5.5, 5.6k going his way. Sven and Viper battling for the second position. So it's not like that to sacrifice too much. And a great Thunder, like, the Thunder God's Wrath comes out. So CC&C and Pilot Eye were trying to go for something up on the top, but they're not finding it. Maybe it's time for GA should look for these Observer wards too.
MC should be dead.
And trapped in the trees. Ice Blast. He's actually going to roar out. Maybe they get the kill onto the Ancient Apparition, but no.
That's going to be a no from me, dog. But yeah, it was a good Thunder God's Wrath, though. He scouted out the smoke. I just think Mind Control had no escape route. He was kind of cornered there. I don't know if a possible TP could have worked. Maybe he had cooldown. But yeah, at the very least for NEWBEE, their smoke results in this kill. But again, are you taking any tower damage? You haven't limited Alchemist space. Apart from the laning stage where they did a good job aggroing him, Miracle's been having a pretty good time.
They see CC&C wrapping around the back. Underneath the Irradiant Observe ward, GH has nowhere to go. Another time up on top, but then again a triple TP. Now the other two going to complete. Kuro does. Mind Control will arrive as well.
That is very, very low value.
Because the 3 TPs happen, they realize that Miracle has no other support up on top lane, so Yuar waits as long as he possibly can for the Stormbolt to fly out. Now you're searing chains, and if you need to, the Ravage will pump, and it feels like Snaking needs to. Very liberal with the use. But they get the kill on Miracle and bring him down.
Absolutely ravage that. No regrets, for sure, on that play. And yeah, like you said, this is what happens when you use 3 TPs like this and the enemy team acknowledges it. Miracle has to go back. He should never have stayed this far up in the mid lane, and that's just flat out a mistake. No backup available. NEWBEE make a quick move on him, identifying the situation very nicely. And that's big. They got 2 core kills in a row, and now they're getting that mid tower damage.
And
Viper will rotate in. So.
You know, this is game 1 of day 1 of TI, but this is, of course, TI. There isn't really a period of time where you say, like, hey, I'm going to just wake myself up over a little bit of time. Like, it'll take me 1 day before we're ready to fight as a team. Like, everything has to be crisp and clean already, and at the moment, it feels like NEWBEE just drafted themselves into a really comfortable position. They're simple to execute. They follow through. And the only ticking time bomb is the Alchemist.
Yeah, if they are able to overpower the Alchemist, that's another thing, right? When you pick this AA last, and you have this insurance against the Alchemist region in the mid-game, even if Miracle gets farmed, they will, until he has a BKB, they should be able to just lock him down with chain stuns and AA ulti. Liquid's lineup has no save, which is a classic component you sometimes run with Alchemist, like an Oracle, or, you know, another defensive support, like maybe even an Omni Knight offlane or something like this to keep the Alchemist safe. Since that's not available, this only 1k gold lead is a bit misleading, because first of all, you're ahead on gold against Alchemist minute 14, which is good, very good. And secondly, it's about how strong is Alchemist's net worth actually in this game. He should need quite a bit more.
Well, he's going Radiance and the AC. And if you're going to get to the BKB, that's a lot longer.
Yep.
And they're not controlling the bounty runes either. Another critical thing with an Alchemist. 15-minute bounty runes are coming up in a second. MSS will claim both of the bottoms. And NEWBEE are positioning to actually fight on top. If Liquid want to contest them, they'll take it.
Yeah, Liquid's not. They don't want any of this.
Yeah, but it at least allows Miracle to finish up the Radiance is coming on the Courier at the moment.
Yep.
So their team fight's getting a little bit better.
It's just, there seems to be a very clear plan from NEWBEE's lineup on how they deal with this guy, right? If he walks into a fight, if a fight begins, you're going to chain stun him and blow him up, especially a hero like Sven actually eats Alchemist pretty quickly with this Echo Saber he has, so gotta be careful. And Liquid's lineup just is slow. They did a great job getting those first 2 towers, but now, you know, their heroes are not very mobile. Alchemist and Viper both have to walk around. It takes a long time. Beastmaster has some sort of play capabilities, but he kind of only really plays with Zeus in this game currently. So their lineup clearly has some limitations. There's a Zeus ulti.
Yeah, they're just trying to scout out. The vision on the map is very defensive for Team Liquid, so they don't really see that much. Like Observer sentries planted over the bottom bounties. So it's not what they're looking for. And now NEWBEE, they're going to TP in snaking. Kuro already slowed down. Leap forward from MSS. Kuro tries to go for a revenge dump, but the Ice Blast already connects as well. Viper wants some revenge, but the arrow?
Oh, good arrow.
Long stun, and this buys snaking enough space to get back.
He still did 1,000 damage to the Tide. Just ulti, Nether Toxin, and 1 poison attack, 1k damage. Gotta be careful. I love this from Snaking. I was thinking you probably go 4-staff in this game because of that. And he has it queued up. We'll see if he buys it before the Hood. I really like 4-staff for a couple of reasons. First of all, the Nether Toxin for his own sake. It's great to counter that. But also, when you look at Liquid's lineup, how do they start fights? They either Viper Strike or they roar.
Yeah.
And if the hero that they go on has turned around, Snaking can actually just save any core in his lineup by just forcing them away and then re-engaging himself with the Blink Dagger that he has.
Mind Control's got to get this roar off, but no. Weeha and Kuro, they were both there ready to fight, but CCNC, second he finishes his Sleight of Fist, just Remnants back.
Good read.
Deeper into the jungle.
Not overstaying there.
Man, it just feels like NEWBEE's getting everything they need. Like Snaking's got the initiation with the Blink Dagger, as you said, with the Fall Staff and everything else. But then you're also getting the lane presence. MSS is building in for a straight-up Aghanim Scepter.
Yep.
And we got to remember, like they're basically running full core at this point. They're always able to push out the lanes, because you'll always clean out the lanes once you got the Aghanim Scepter up. Ember can do the same type of thing. And Zven's clearance is great too. Try and break the Ember Spirit, Moonlight Shadow defense, and Team Liquid, no detection on the front lines.
Mirana definitely has this ability when the laning stage goes well, her just innate ability to push waves with Starstorm and then farm up and get this Ags puts so much pressure on the Alchemist team to constantly have to go and defend. And yeah, again...
they needed the roar. Once again, they need the roar from Mind Control to begin. Just as you were saying, like, what is your initiation? Ogre raises his fists and CCNC just spirits away.
If you're paying good attention on Ember, the only way you really die in this game is getting roared from Fog. There's no other play until maybe Mind Control gets a Blink Dagger and surprises you from an angle you're not watching, or something like this, because, yeah, there's no instant stun. Alchemist Concoction has to fly, Ogre has to wind up his arms, he doesn't have a lens, so he can't stun you from the trees in most places on the map, and, yep, that roar can't connect right now. So CCNC is playing very nicely on the limit here.
Does that actually mean like CCNC can go more aggressive style items? Like he doesn't have to get a Lincoln Sphere, he doesn't feel like he needs to block anything?
I would like to see him go BKB, I think.
Okay.
So what we're seeing here is he's gone the Flame Guard Absorption, and from what I've heard, this build with Flame Guard Absorption into Flame Guard DPS is becoming really popular because it basically doubles the DPS of Flame Guard from 60 to 120. That's the same as 2 Radiances. And then if you BKB, the Flame Guard can't get broken. So you're just running into the fight, you deal super high amounts of damage, and you're very difficult to focus down, because every time people go on you, you're just going to use your Sleight of Fist. Yawar will be fine.
Smart and easy TP out.
Maybe you have to buy Atos on Weeha. Perhaps that would have been a good choice this game over this Veil, just so they have this extra catch that can surprise the Ember, or can catch this Sven from TPing away.
It's still going to be projectile though, right? So it's...
But it's fast.
Yeah.
It's fast. And again, when you have the when you have the range that Atos has, it makes catching Ember a lot easier because there's angles. You have options that Ogre and Beastmaster just don't have because of their lower reach.
Miracle's...
Sure, if you cast it from the front on the Ember, he's going to react. But
Yeah.
if he's not watching the angle you come from, or if you are, you know, coming out of smoke or out of fog, it's a lot harder.
I'm loving this. I saw Weeha actually line up the BTs before. He's using the Beastmaster Hawk to get to the front lines, trying to wrap around the side. The Aurora's out over on CC, and Snaking will create enough space with the Ravage, and now Beastmaster, he will fall. Weeha's caught on the wrong side of the tracks, had a lot of help. It's on the way, but the Ice Blast will connect first. Pilot Eye will end up dropping to the attacks from down the low ground. Miracle once more with a Moonlight Shadow. They run away. NEWBEE was trying to contest these bounty runes once again.
I think that's pretty even, I suppose. It's 1 for 1, but Ravage was used, so you kill a core, but
CCNC's
you
back in.
Ravage.
He's not done just yet.
Boy.
The concoction's ready for Miracle, and they've actually got the control. Arrow flies forward. Everyone will dodge that one. No, they won't. Kura catches in the back lines, so he's trapped where he is. Miracle will fall, and you shouldn't have said anything, Cinderin. Even not anymore. This is going to be Weeha trying to battle for the last, but MSS has to leap and TP out. It will not be successful. That is not the way Liquid wanted to have that fight continue.
There's one guy who's happy about this, though, and that's GH. He got a solo kill on Tide toward the end of that. So 600 gold. I think he got about a full level, and now has this Aether Lens as well as almost a Force Staff completed. So big scaling possibilities coming in, but this Alchemist kill very big from Yawar. The BKB reveal. And again, problem for Liquid, right? You don't have that save. So if your Alchemist gets jumped by the Sven, he has to run away. Sven is just the bigger boy right now.
Oh, I'm loving this from Pilot Eye. Just puts down the Vortex, sees Kuro, hits him with the Ice Blast. It's the cold feed to trigger, but there's no need for CCNC to get any more aggressive. GH is doing too much damage, and he's already starting to back up. And Team Liquid must have really wanted that fight too. Like the AC being done with the Radiance, like Miracle was ready to get in there. And now they smoke up themselves and they look towards Roshan.
I like this play. No Ravage. You have the Beastmaster Aura, you have the Kiras, you have Bloodlust. This is an easy kill. Holy, okay, that's a bit faster than I thought it would be. They have Medallion.
Even with Ice Blast down because it was used in the mid, like they can't even scout it out.
They give the Aegis to Miracle. Alchemist is one of those heroes that Aegis is a little bit weird because sometimes it's really good and other times it feels almost useless. Obviously, being a transformation-based ulti hero, one of your lives is bound to be without that chemical rage, and depending on the timing in the fight, it can be pretty bad. But who else would you give it to? You don't want to give it to a Viper. He's not going to get targeted.
Giving it to Zeus to pop off everything he's got and come back again.
And then die instantly?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about that one. Yeah, there's no better Aegis carrier than Alchemist this game. And
protect the money.
Usually in Alchemist games, you will give it to Alch, because around the time you kill Roche is when Alchemist wants to go high ground. That just doesn't seem like a possibility in this game right now. I don't think Liquid get a chance to...
Look at him come to fight, though. Ice Blast is flying forward from Pilot Eye. It's just hitting the back line, so GH is already going to go down to CC and C. But it was watching Miracle's presence. Where does the stuns come? I get to miss every single kill on this camera.
Yeah, Kuro kind of just got overwhelmed. His tower's gone.
It's like left behind for everyone else. CCNC gets the Searing Chains off over on Viper. Snaking's moving in with a gush. Viper really slowed down. There's Yawar with a stun and the damage output. No Bracer will protect you from that. And Weeha, he's already... I mean, yeah, he's back. Miracle gets the BKB. They need to wait a little longer before they're ready to fight this, and NEWBEE saw the window. Ravage was up. They wanted to get in there.
I don't know. I'm not really feeling this Viper build in this game. I'm not completely sure what... like, maybe this is a good build in a lot of games on Weeha's Viper. I just don't think it solves the problems that Viper innately has in this game. He doesn't have any armor against the Sven and the, you know, the slight spam from Ember. He's going for Kaya Sanj, so he gets some status resistance against the stuns, which is nice, but the problem is he's kind of just dying to like 3 hits from Sven right now. So I think you have to either go back for a Ghost Scepter or try to get yourself some armor or a BKB. The Boots of Travel they've given them 1 or 2 opportunities to take fights, and obviously gives the hero some much needed mobility. But overall, I'm just I haven't felt it this game. I'm sure we're gonna see more Weeha Viper this tournament, or you never know. Maybe it's the only time they'll play it. But if we do, I would like to see this build be really successful so that we can understand why it is so good. But in this game, it hasn't really.
I'm also just trying to understand like Team Liquid's mindset coming into the drafting phase. Like we saw the way they picked up very early on. Like you had the Beastmaster and Zeus as your opener, and then you went into this Alchemist. You're willingly still doing this. This was still your intent. It wasn't because you're forced into it by NEWBEE with the way they were drafting. So they still had a good plan behind this, a good thought process at least. And that's where I still keep my eyes on Miracle. Like, what does he try and achieve during this game? You're building BKB up, Abyssal Blade next. Thunder God's Wrath from GH does reveal the fact that CCNC was wrapping around the back. NEWBEE will grab 3 of the bounty runes out of the 4 once again.
Man, this Mirana's getting farmed.
Yeah.
Getting real farmed. He's overtaken the enemy position 3 now. We were saying GH was getting rich from that kill on Tide, but he's still a full 3,500 gold behind the Mirana on the enemy team. And the only reason this gold graph looks fairly even is that there's an Alchemist.
Yeah.
And Alchemist lineups being behind at this time, especially the experience, is insane. 20,000 XP.
Yeah.
When you're this far behind, like, you're not, this game is not even right now. Liquid have to try to find a team fight where
they're looking for
they
a pick
really
off.
get to use this Aegis and playing around Miracle.
The roar from Mind Control has to hit perfectly here. CCNC is just farming the wave. They're trying to make the most of nighttime, but he just spirits straight over the top of everyone. CCNC is, like, he's playing this game perfectly. Pushes out just far enough and never too far. There ain't no 50-50 toss-up.
Maybe you need Shadowblade on Beastmaster this game? So that's a reliable way of catching the Ember, but he's going for this BKB build so that they feel like they can take team fights. And that's, you know, you got to choose your path on Beast. If you go the Shadowblade, your team fighting is a lot weaker, but your catch is better. And if you go this BKB, you can try to fight around Alchemist's timing. Because I think Liquid feel like this game cannot go on like this for another 15-20 minutes. Like, the Alchemist will fall off eventually. He has some good Ags friends, I suppose, but
they still need to, like, they're going to get out pushed, right?
Really want to.
Like,
yeah.
the Mirana can push in the bottom lane all by herself without any kind of major risk because it's still a 4th position. Yeah. There's doing that. So if you have your BKBs, then you at least have something that allows you to force an issue, like push up high ground and take something quick.
And they have the super low commitment split push of Ember too. And the waves are just constantly being pushed in, so they don't get to use their Aegis. That's
there's your Stormbolt forward. Yua's got all the damage, and the long range arrow from MSS connects perfectly. Weeha will fall.
Nice blast.
Yeah, it won't hit anybody, but it was kind of thinking it should be done. Miracle caught in no man's land underneath his own Observer Ward. Thanks to the Thunder God's Wrath, at least he kills off the Observer Ward, moves over towards the Ember Spirit with the BKB. He doesn't have much to work with. Yua's already moved back over. He's got so much damage output. 5 heroes ready to chase around the back, but then the buyback in from Weeha, and they think twice about it.
So again, it's a big win for NEWBEE. They killed Weeha, forced a buyback, and it cost them nothing. Alchemist had to BKB. That's a really big BKB charge.
His net worth is just plummeting with this. Like, he's actually almost below 4 heroes of NEWBEE.
Yeah. Weeha's game is... Yeah, now he's buying armor. Right, there comes the Shiva buildup. Again, I mentioned it before. I think this Kaya Sanj has its place, maybe, in some Viper games. To me, this is not one of them. And this has really slowed down his item progression. I would have loved to see at least the plate mail on the way to get this armor that he so needs. Like, you saw him getting blown up by this Sven. There was a bit of an arrow in from Mirana, but the rest was just the Sven with his Bloodthorn just wailing at him.
Oh, here they go again. Instantly into the break of Sven. Weeha. Here comes your Ice Blast forward. No. Yeah, he's dead.
That's bad.
Over a minute and a half on the sidelines. Yua did burn the BKB for this.
He bought back, and he's playing up far in a very dangerous lane with no teammates close by to save him. Not Weeha's. This is not Weeha. It just hasn't been Weeha's game so far. And you have to turn to Miracle to be able to carry this game and play around him as a team. But the problem that you're facing is every time you want to group up, these waves are pushing in. So Weeha feels forced to, you know what, I got to push this extra wave. I got to go that little bit further and take the risk so that we can make our own play. And this time it just gets punished way too hard.
Now he's at least got the Abyssal Blade up and running. Going to go for a Blink Dagger as his next item. Yeah. And NEWBEE still, they're not threatening up in high grounds. Like,
that gives him kill potential, by the way.
There's been some chip damage on bottom. Yes, that instant stun you're looking for, right?
Finally catch Ember with your Alchemist Blink Abyssal. Yeah. You get the catch you wanted. Yeah.
That doesn't really feel like what you really wanted, though. CCNC's pushing the tier 2 tower in mid. Snaking sitting behind. Pipe, Blink Dagger, and Ravage is more than enough confidence for CCNC to do what he's doing.
And with his Octarine core, all of that health, as well as, you know, the spell lifesteal coming in will keep him alive.
Alright, Miracle.
Thought he was going to go the BKB route like we talked about, but went for the Octarine.
Starting a concoction. He's lost vision. He's going to end up sending himself over in the trees.
They don't know, though.
No.
NEWBEE don't know. That would have been an arrow. Perhaps. Wait, where is Moronic?
They're really chasing down CCNC. Are they like, well, this guy must not have a remnant down? Even TP out from Mind Control went to the tier 3 town, but he's not going to do that without a remnant.
And now it's bounty time again. Liquid will... Maybe it's a 1-for-3 trade-off once again.
Yeah.
Alchemist seems like he kind of wants to go, but he has no Chemical Rage ready. So he's actually weak right now for this fight. He might try it anyway.
Well, Slide's already been used. Thunder God's Wrath. Mind Control's in a very, very bad position. Yawar jumps in. He'll get the roar off, but Mind Control runs away, but not fast enough. CCNC is the last physical bit of damage to attack through that BKB of Mind Control, and they're going underneath the tower. They really want to keep this push going with the Ravage clipping over on 3 with a Bloodthorn being used. Viper's down again. Weehaw is a non-factor this game, and CCNC, he's everything. To the front lines, a double kill for Yawar. GH will die in the tree lines. It leaves the last man standing, Miracle, still trying to farm up his Blink Dagger on the bottom lane, but NEWBEE can just go for Roshan. Just play it safe and get this first win against Team Liquid to start off their TI9 campaign.
What a great start to the day that would be for them too. You know, these groups, there's so much to play for in the groups. Step number 1, don't get last in the group. Then you're already at the main event, and getting to the main event is worth...
Oh, it's again, the Bloodthorn's already out. Alchemist, he got Abyssal Blades, at least he's able to miss out in the arrow. Concoction beginning again, he's starting to stun over on MSS. Mind Control, he'll arrive, what can he do? There's no Roar available, he can just give him Medallion, try and get Miracle back into relative safety with the regeneration. Is still not going to be enough. And the Ice Blast, well, it won't hit Mind Control. That's the one upside from Team Liquid, as NEWBEE will retreat back out of the base.
But yeah, as I was getting at with the group format and the way things work, obviously we have 18 teams here this year once again, and the bottom team from each group is eliminated before the main event. So you want to not get that last place placement, so you get into the main event, and also already getting just not last in group this year is worth about $500,000 is the prize for 13 through 16. So
yeah, it was last position's 80,000, I believe, at the moment.
So getting to that main event is huge, and obviously every game is going to matter. I'm not saying this as my expectation was NEWBEE won't make it out of groups. Don't interpret it that way. It's just like step number 1 is get off to a good start in groups, so you've got that playoff, and then obviously if you have a good start against Liquid, you get a 1-game win, maybe a 2-0. Your chances of getting to that top 4 in your group and getting to the upper bracket gets massively increased. Liquid clearly one of the stronger teams to come out from the European region this year, and it looks like NEWBEE need to mess up gravely. Or that Liquid has to find the fight of their dreams with kind of this Miracle Blink Dagger is the key. They have to start a good fight with this, or it's just not happening. But Ember has an Aegis now. How do you initiate this fight? You don't go on the Ember.
Yeah.
If you try to kill Ember twice, the fight's lost.
You actually gonna have to kill Yawar, right? Like, you need to stop that Bloodthorn from having an effect. It's like, and not to mention all the damage that comes along with it, but it's...
Do you have the damage, though, to kill this Sven? You need to jump him when he doesn't have God Strength on, when Tide is not nearby to pipe and Blink Ravage.
Yeah. Or can you kite
And you need 5 heroes, I think.
Can you kite out the BKB times and then go for your own initiation? Like, is that the other approach to do this? Now
I'm looking at the kiting potential of both teams, and I feel like the kiting potential's on the Dire Toby. There's no kiting on the Radiant.
You've got Glimmer Cape on Kuro. I'm like literally checking items. Like, this is all there really is. Like, you can blink yourself away, and you ain't got a 4-staff. Well, you got 1 on GH.
I mean, it's technically possible, but if there is 1 dust or a gem in the middle of the fight from the Dire team, from NEWBEE, you're just...
Not Weehaw again.
Die,
not Weehaw again. Moonlight Shadow. CCNC just walks up. The Ice Blast is coming in. Weehaw is totally dead. But then again, the initiation is the back lines. They find the Tide Hunter, and have they got enough control? He's still got Ravage available. He doesn't want to use it because the BKB is up. The Raw snaking. He'll burn the cheese. He's got his life back again, and they're ready to Ravage with the stuns and the arrows to connect. Goodbye, Ogre. Goodbye, Alchemist. In just a second, if they can see him out, and they will be able to. Mind Control's trying to retreat back out, but you know the primary target is Miracle. He blinks. He's actually going to TP himself away, so they burned the Aegis to the Immortal, and now Viper, he's in a little deep, but they're still going up further north. They're looking for snaking. This battle is just splitting up every 2 different ways. The BKBs have been burnt. Weehaw is finally going to go down. He'll bring MSS down with him, thanks to Viper Strike tick damage, but it's Alchemist. He doesn't have his Chemical Rage available. They have to force up and back underneath the Tier 1 tower, even with the bind back from GH. Now he may end up going down underneath his own Tier 1 tower too. So many heroes dead for so long, and Yawar, he wants more. He wants Miracle. The Chemical Rage is finally back off cooldown. So Miracle and Mind Control can retreat back to safety. Yawar, he's looking for the fight, and so is Miracle. Here's your first down. The follow-up, Abyssal Blaze available, and they actually do bring it down Yawar. Over 1,000 gold for the kill, and Miracle shows he's got some teeth.
That was a good fight from NEWBEE until that move from Yawar. I'm not sure what was going through his mind there. He's completely alone, running in, hoping to get a Blink Dagger initiation, but he didn't have Blink Dagger ready. And it's just Alchemist jumping on him with the vision, getting a quick kill, and important for Miracle. That's an 1,100 gold kill that he just got out of that.
And look at him run. They're instantly trying to make a play to get in and get the bounty runes.
CCNC's ready though.
Yeah, he is.
At the right time.
And Snaking will get both the bottom runes.
Yeah, I kind of like how NEWBEE played that fight. I don't. Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
That's a dead AA.
Yeah, it is. Mind Control's going to BKB because he just doesn't care.
The initiation.
That pilot high is worth 481 gold.
The initiation of going on the Viper when they did, either you really commit for that guy or they were trying to bait a fight, right? They jumped on the Viper with the Aegis of CCNC. They forced Liquid to respond with their BKBs, and then they kited them. Yep, nope, not happening. Then they kited the BKBs like we talked about. The kiting potential of NEWBEE probably better. And then they re-engaged and got a really good fight out of it in the end until the Sven death. They forced a Zeus dieback. They killed, I believe, Beastmaster and Ogre died.
Yes.
Alchemist barely got out, and Viper died too. So the fight was good from NEWBEE until that point, and if Sven doesn't overextend, they should have been very happy with that. Even though they did use Aegis Cheese for it.
Yeah.
It's still, you know, you just want to stay ahead against this Alchemist at this point.
It's just crazy to think it still felt like NEWBEE was in a hell of a lot of control. Like they were sitting at 40,000 experience advantage, and they haven't even brought down the tier 3 tower. In fact, the tickle they did in the tier 3 tower down on bottom lane was about 10-15 minutes ago.
Yep.
And this is going to be getting more and more problematic. Miracle's up to 5.4k in the gold. What does he go next? Does he start arming everyone with Aghanim Scepters? Do you actually start to increase this net worth now of Team Liquid? Or do you still make yourself a Battle Hunger Boy? Like, do you get that Moonshot up and running?
You might go for an Axe for the Zeus. I think they have damage problems. Nope, Moonshot first.
Moonshot first.
So, yeah, we'll see. Obviously, when we're talking about the experience, we should point out that there are 3 heroes on NEWBEE that have peaked now. They won't get experience anymore, so the XP graph is going to start dipping. Both Ember, Tide, and Sven are level 25. Liquid's highest hero for comparison is Miracle with almost level 23. So not only, like, experience can be a bit weird to look at as a metric in the game because sometimes it matters a lot and sometimes it doesn't matter so much. What really matters is these level thresholds. Having 3 level 25 talents is massive to the 0 of Liquid, and that's where the XP lead really matters right now is can you put these talents to use. Tide plus 250 damage, Anchor Smash hurts real bad with that Solar Crest that he has, the Sven with the God Strength talent, and Ember of course with those charge remnants or lower respawn recharge time, and now the Aghanim's coming up with that talent makes him so much stronger.
They're looking to fight.
Yep.
Team Liquid have been actually running around in circles for the last 20 seconds, looking for a good time to smoke. And looks like NEWBEE is already ready for it. Keep your eye on Roshan. He may respawn in just over 2 minutes, so they've still got more time. CCNC, all right, the bait is there. Abyssal Blade to start this time around with a follow-up concoction. CCNC, they're going to bring him down. Buyback is available. And maybe they have enough slow, but here comes Yawar, the double stun with the Ice Blast. Everyone's in way too deep. They're all pushing him back, but CCNC's buyback is there. Weeha stands not a single chance to survive. And they're jumping around, but NEWBEE, they don't find a target. Alchemist has already run himself away.
Crucial force step from GH. He saved Miracle completely there. Getting caught out like that with the Ice Blast on top.
Oh, Mind Control. Get away.
Gets him out. Yeah, that's big. That's big for Liquid. Sure, you lose your Viper, but man, that was expensive for NEWBEE. They used the Ember Spirit buyback. And you just gotta wonder how CCNC got jumped like this. I feel like Tide was in range to help with a Blink Pipe or Blink Ravage. I don't know if he got cancelled by a Zeus ulti. Perhaps that's what happened, and Snay wasn't able to help his teammate out there.
I actually thought Yawar was going to be in there faster. He's got the Lincoln Sphere, like putting that on the Ember Spirit. If you're going to use CCNC as such obvious bait, it would make more sense.
Or maybe, yeah, I don't know. It must have been. Maybe they were trying to bait this fight, and they were like, come on, guys, go on the Ember. He has buyback. He has a Remnant out. If you start this fight, we're going to come in with our Tide Ravage, and we'll kill your Alchemist, which looked great for a moment there. But once again, that Force Staff, and I think he even got glimmered as well by Kuro, perhaps, just got him out of trouble. And now this game got a lot more interesting because
it got so much closer.
The thing we needed from Liquid in this game, with one good team fight around Miracle catching this Ember, just happened.
Miracle's on a
Bounties
hunt.
again.
I like how he's got the Radiance off. So there's no visibility that he's here, so he wants to try and get this quick pick onto MSS. Concoction blink forward. Now that MSS has blinked in, he's going to run into the trees. Oh, no, Miracle. All right, they're both there. Oh, okay. I thought I wanted a battle. No, I need to come and smoke.
Yep. Get ready for the bounties. Big moment in the game, 40 minutes in. This is when we start getting 2 power runes. So both sides of the river will now have active runes, and generally the team that has map control. The team that has mind control sometimes also has an advantage at this point. Liquid kind of doesn't in this game currently, but having map control at this point is really, really useful for those for that extra rune. And so far in this game, it's mainly been NEWBEE being on the other side of the river. So if they can keep this control of the map and start finding maybe a DD plus an illusion or DD haste, or
especially leading up to Roshan in 34 seconds, then it's all...
Invis rune could be a game-winning rune here on the Tide Hunter coming out of nowhere with the Ravage. There's plenty of things. That is one thing that Beastmaster's Hawk cannot deal with. It does not have true sight, so even if you have that Blink Dagger, you can kind of counter it with the Beastmaster Hawk if you see him coming, but with an Invis rune, you don't have time to react, so...
I was going to watch around Roshan now. We're hitting that time. If Liquid can move up and get rid of that Observer Ward, then NEWBEE will be fairly blind.
MSS is so rich.
Yeah.
I still can't get over it. He has a BKB now if he wants it.
He's just been sitting on bottom lane, just like farming it up. Like as long as he adds the pressure, like Liquid have to move from Roshan. They come off the northern side, and these BKB timings of theirs just didn't really count for anything apart from waiting for NEWBEE to make one small mistake in a fight.
One position 4 has 220 CS. The other position 4 has 80.
You know, this is just when you actually know where's my fantasy points. That's what you're looking for. Mr. 17.3. If you have Kuro, he's looking pretty damn good.
20 for CCNC too.
Yep. Miracle is a little bit behind what he normally is, but he's still sitting at 14.1, so that's not too shabby. Buys the first Aghanim Scepter coming out in the courier.
Let's see who gets this one.
He's moving towards the GH. Yeah, it's GH. Okay. Nimbus is up.
Obviously, some good teammates, right? You can give an Axe to Ogre Magi to get the Unrefined Fire Blast, really strong. The Beastmaster Axe can be useful in the right situations. The Viper one can also be really good.
So how fast they do this? The Ember Spirit's already in. CCFD's going to jump in. Questline of Fist Steering Chains. Snaking still looking for his right target to go for his own jump in, but Kuro, the Ravage is out. Ice Blast on the way into Roshan. Who's going to claim it? Miracle gets the Aegis, the Immortal. Yawar, he's moved in. There's still cheese on the deck for the moment. Mind Control will grab it as Yawar. The Roar comes out. CCC, the side of Fitzy actually dodges the pushback from the Roar, but they burn the Aegis, the Immortal. Remember, it's on an Alchemist who doesn't have Chemical Rage available. Kuro, not much more to give. He goes back inside the pit. He can throw out an Ignite, but you've already lost 2 heroes. Going to make it 3. A CCNC making the most of this Aghanim Scepter. Jumps forward. Looks for the kill over on Beastmaster. The backlines can do its own thing as well as Mind Control does go down with Kuro. Viper underneath the Shrine. He'll trigger it up. A triple buyback out from Liquid. My God, do they need something to make this work? The Miracle! He stuns himself! He tried to actually just concoct TP out. Doesn't work. The Nimbus is barely off target.
Oh man, he wanted to concoct TP in, but it's a long TP because we have ported before. So it takes those 5 seconds, and with the 5.5 second charge up, he doesn't have time to throw the concoction. That is the right play, though, from Liquid to buy back there with 3 heroes, because Weehaw would have died back under his own Shrine, and that would have cost you probably 1 or not, if not 2 lanes of barracks to lose the Viper there. So I like the idea that they did this. They just got no kills out of it, and NEWBEE did get out. Of course, Aegis did go to Miracle, so there's no Aegis on the field for NEWBEE in this instance, and the cheese, I think,
was... It's in Mind Control.
It's in Mind Control? Was that the...
Was it Refresher or an Aghanim Scepter? Because it all happened so fast I didn't actually see the drop. But I'm not seeing anybody holding like a Refresher shard.
There is an Ags on Viper, so that I think was the drop.
That would make sense.
Alk has not given away 2, right? He's only given away the one to Zeus.
Yes.
So I think this was a drop on the ground. Okay, so Liquid got all 3 items out of the Roche. And sure, you lose that fight, but that's also why the net worth looks the way it does, because the game considers this Aghanim shard, it considers it worth 4,200 gold.
Yeah.
And that's why Weehaw's net worth suddenly took this like huge leap up, even though he died and bought back.
Yeah, now he's saying he's got more than MSS, which doesn't really feel like he does.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, but yeah, Aghanim's Blessing is a good item. It's definitely good.
This game is just going so long, though, because it feels like no team, even when you win the fight, it doesn't feel like you can then just follow up with a big objective. Like, Roshan also keeps going to the team that doesn't have the momentum.
Yeah.
It keeps going the way of Liquid.
Oh, multi-shot arrow talent for
Okay.
MSS.
No Moonlight Shadow cooldown, huh? I thought that playing the Vision game against Liquid was going to be a good way to go. But I guess not. They're
Well,
going to try and...
Multi-shot arrow is also Vision talent.
That it is.
So
All 5 buybacks from Team Liquid currently on cooldown, and all for over 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes in total. So Liquid are in full defense now.
And there's 3 buybacks on the other side. NEWBEE have Sven, Morana, as well as AA. Embers is on cooldown for another 1 minute only. So they have this massive power play now where they just have lives to throw. If they can throw bodies at Liquid, and if they win the fight, that's the game.
Look how fast they go. NEWBEE get revealed by the Thunder God's Wrath, and they TP everyone down to the bottom lane. It's like, okay, they know we're on the north, let's go towards the south. We've already pushed in one wave, and we are kind of is in no man's land behind the tower. Kuro's coming out for an observer warning mission, but they finally found the target they wanted. Team Liquid thought the south was clear, and they were definitely wrong. Kuro down for 50 seconds.
That's the best hero Liquid could have died, though. He will be alive in time to defend the base. 50 seconds.
How do you actually
Most likely.
push up into like Acid Spray and Nether Toxin and
Zeus bolts.
like Zeus Bolt and Nimbus and
It's hard. I think what you try to do here is one of two things. Either you choke out the map, you just ward aggressively, you keep Liquid in their base. They probably are out of smokes now after these last couple of fights, and you just keep controlling and farming. The other one is you flat out just go for a surprise jump. You get a ward in the enemy base, and you jump and ravage and try to kill the back line. You know they have 0 buybacks. You know this. So if you catch even a hero like Zeus, blowing up Zeus is really good value right now. To be able to continue pushing. But it looks like the map control play is what NEWBEE are leaning toward right now.
yeah, CCNC's got the bottom.
I think it's fine.
Yuar can jump around. They already got a little bit of extra chip damage, so it's down to half life.
Yep.
On the bottom tier 3.
Liquid are very cornered right now. It's very hard for them to find any opening on the map. You're already playing with these low mobility heroes. You've used up your smokes, and the enemy team just has lives on you. They have buybacks. You don't. It's tricky. You kind of have to play defense.
Doesn't NEWBEE still need to force it though? Like you're 3 minutes in, you've got buybacks as your advantage. You know that Team Liquid don't have that second life.
You could technically hope for an early Roche, and then you will have Aegis, Cheese, Refresher, or Ags, or whatever, or all, before Liquid are able to get their buybacks back online. How long is it? 3.5? Okay, that's pretty unlikely.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty unlikely.
It's such a long time, but they're at least ripping through the creep waves. Arrow flies forward, it's a little too short. Now Miracle jumps in looking for their own target, trying to bring down Sven. They're able to do so, dead for 100 seconds, and they want an extra chase. The Roar over an Ancient Apparition, looking for the supports. The arrow is tanked up by the BKBs. Now the double buybacks will arrive. Team Liquid just want to get back into their home, back into their base, but they just can't do it. The Ravage from Snaking clipped them all. 2 minutes down for such a long time on Miracle. Let all the stuns go you want, but without the buybacks, without the lives, this is what NEWBEE wanted. A small opportunity to just try and take the rest of this base. A triple kill for CCNC. He wants the Ultra. He's looking towards Weehar and he'll claim him. The arrow flies forward. MSS will steal it, but that is GG. NEWBEE, they will be patient and take game 1 here in this 2-game series against Team Liquid.
That's a nice game to start us off. I like that game.
Yeah.
It's good. A couple of things to talk about, obviously, in this game. The Alchemist pick, as we said, after Zeus and Beastmaster, we found a little bit odd.
Yeah.
The Viper item build, perhaps for Liquid, wasn't the way to go this game. But I love the way NEWBEE approached the game, too. This Morana got super strong, the way they put their lanes, and the way they took fights with buybacks, right? They have this like bad engage in a way with the Sven dying. And they're like, we have lives. We're going to come back in. We're going to take this fight. Similar situation earlier with another buyback fight that they won, and they played a great game.
Yeah, man, I just like seeing this from NEWBEE, seeing CCNC being what he wants to be, and seeing NEWBEE understand like you can actually run 4 cores against this and not feel like that's greedy against an Alchemist, because doesn't that normally happen? Like it's like an Alchemist, let's not play slow. Let's play fast, let's be aggressive. And NEWBEE were like, no, we can actually play nice and slow, nice and tempered, and wait for our right opportunities. So, good start for NEWBEE. Game 2 coming up in just a bit.